Camera is rolling. Audio is rolling.
Episode.
Welcome to Gimson Rosko Show, episode number.
7.
No, it's not. Wait, there we had Rach.
Yeah. Ellie.
Si. Reese. John.
Yeah.
Grace. 7.
7. I was right. Boom. Welcome. Have you just done that? Yeah. Yeah. We're learning still. So yeah, today we are joined by Markie B, aka the Marques.
Yay!
Greetings and salutations.
What is going on? So we've got a fleuret or a Beaujolais.
Fleuret or a Beaujolais? I'll go for Beaujolais.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
From that side, mate. Oh, the glass is up there.
For all those that don't know, they're on about wine.
I'm gonna have one glass actually.
You guys missing a glass?
Nah, Gimson said he didn't want one.
Yeah, I've got work tomorrow. I can't go down that rabbit hole.
Well, let's go. Wine or vinegar, people?
Wine, mate.
Let us know.
Yeah, don't you worry, mate. I'll be the judge of that.
Well, this is a nice one, mate. So.
What time's the fish and chips coming?
It's pizza.
That means vinegar. That means vinegar.
Oh.
Okay, it's going to be a long evening. It's going to be a long evening. There we go.
Yes, mate.
Straight in the mic.
Straight in the mic. What, like this?
Beaujolais.
Yeah, is that cool? We're going, man. Alright, cool. Alright, we're ready to start now. Are we filming?
Yeah, we just did the introduction.
Should we do the
you
intro?
fucking belter.
Alright, cool. Wicked.
You should do like a game. Every time you answer something wrong, you have to...
Oh, fuck me, I nearly forgot to do the fright. Yeah, I was not going to ask him again.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't ready.
3 good things that happened today.
3 good things that happened to me today.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to go steady on this.
First of all, I woke up to see another day.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
come on.
I also helped a very good friend of mine go live streaming, DJing today. He done a 2-hour stream. I've just left him. He is made up.
Nice.
Who's that?
Ranks.
Yeah, rubber.
Nice.
Yeah.
Come on.
And the third thing. The third thing is just nice being here, being asked to be here to throw my view on a few things that you guys seem to think might be quite interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
So those are my 3 things.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, considering I didn't do maths, I done that quite well.
It's better than the...
It was better than John. He fucking couldn't have 3. He gave us 2 good things and then he fucking
Started talking about
dead deer that he's seen. I was like, that ain't fucking good, mate.
Am I on the right show?
But yeah.
But in saying that, I did eat a curry goat last night, but most probably that don't qualify.
No, I don't know. You didn't scrape off the road, did you, mate?
Hey, let's move on. Let's move on.
You kicking off Roscoe or am I?
Yeah, you can go. Go for it.
All
bro.
right.
I spoke to him yesterday.
All right.
And that's enough.
So, when did you start getting involved in music? Like at the start?
Wow. I think from a very young age, from about 11 or 12, you kind of get this feeling that somewhere musical, there's a place for you. Whether it was just listening to a track, I think in those days it was the old school hip hops and things like that. And it was, Tupac was kicking it, Biggie was kicking it. But I didn't see myself as a rapper, as in hip hop, but I loved the music. I loved the whole togetherness of it. That was what was great. So from about 11 or 12, I kind of knew that, yes, there is a musical bone somewhere inside me. Yeah.
And then, like, because you were MCing at one point, wasn't it?
Yeah, reggae MCing, toasting,
Yeah, man.
MCing. How did all that come about? Well, believe it or not, the same guy who I helped do the stream today, Ranks. It's a weird one, actually. When I was about 13, I remember coming in from school. My dad asked him and a friend to paint my front room. So I've gone into my house. You know your own house. You know your own territory.
Yeah.
Something was wrong. Something was weird. There was someone in there that was too loud. This is my house. Too loud. And also there was some bass lines going. The bass lines was a dancehall tape from a very popular reggae sound system. So when I seen this guy there, and I kind of knew him from seeing him on the street, and then he's playing this music, as a sort of 12-year-old, I'm sitting on top of the stairs, working out the music. Because the music was a weird one for me, because it was like, my dad spoke heavy Jamaican patois. So for the first time in my life, I was hearing heavy Jamaican patois on a musical beat. And it was wow, was that my dad down there? I never knew my dad knew music. You know, it was all that kind of weird thing. And then I started to follow it. I remember then speaking to Ranks, because back in the day, you asked everyone for a copy of the tapes. And I said to him, can I have a copy of that? And he went, well, typical Ranks, yeah, man, go on, blood, take it. You know, so I copied it. And that was my CD. Sorry, that was my tape for about the next 4 weeks. And I listened to it again and again and again. Fell in love with dancehall music. And that was where that road began.
Yeah. So what music were your parents into?
My parents were into reggae music, so you're obvious, you know, Bob Marley's and stuff like that. But also, one album, a lot of Sundays that would play in my house. Can't remember what the album name was, but it was by Johnny Clark. Johnny Clark was one of the first musicians that used to play regularly in my house. And that was normally on a Sunday. Reggae music would bounce on a Sunday. When people were cleaning the house and doing odd jobs, that reggae music would be there. That's where it started.
And then what was it? It was just like, so the dancehall thing, when did you start actually going to the
dancehall thing?
Do the thing yourself.
Again, it involves Ranks. At the age of 14.
So how much older is Ranks than you?
He's exactly to the month 10 years older.
Right, okay.
To the month. Kind of ironic, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, when I was 14, there was a lot of blues parties that used to go in the area where I lived. Loads of them.
In Bath or?
In Bath, in the Snow Hill area, the London Road area of Bath. That's where the Caribbean community was at its largest, between most probably the 70s and mid-90s, early 2000s. It was like little Caribbean island.
Yeah.
You know, everything that went on in Barbados, Jamaica or whatever, kind of went on London Road.
Yeah.
So then you used to have the blues parties. They would go from Fridays, Saturdays, and even a Sunday night. You could quite easily back then be partying or bubbling, as we used to say, from Wednesday night right round to Sunday. Free parties. You know, there was no CCTVs, there was no big brothers watching you. There was just people just lived.
Yeah. Just having fun.
Just having fun and lived.
Was number 3, because number 3 was kind of like my first sort of like years of like that sort of thing, the parties that were going on in number 3. Was that like back then, or was that like a more recent thing?
Number 3, the building, stemmed from many, many years ago. And I think, if I'm quite right, I think there was a lease of 30 years given from that place to the community of London Road, Snow Hill. Don't mark me on it. No one's ever called me into the boardroom to tell me, but you just work things out. And then abruptly it was taken away. So normally when you see something abruptly taken away, that means they gave you something for a sojourn time.
So for the people that don't know, do you want to explain what number 3 was?
Maybe I'm not the right person to.
I'll explain what I know it as if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
So I first stumbled on number 3 as mid to late teenage years. There was Flash, who was big up Flash. Flash is like sort of like my mentor of like first teaching me like anything of how to make music. So he was there. He had the top floor up there, and then there was the floor below. There was a thing going on that we used to go there and do ciphers. But then you'd also have downstairs. You had the Easy Times Cafe.
Now,
and then there was like the parties that were going.
Let me stop you there, with no disrespect. That time that you're talking about, there was a time before that number 3. Now, number 3 initially wasn't a studio, wasn't an Easy Times cafe. It was given over to the people to run a community centre back in the old days, where they would have carpentry, hairdressing for the ladies. Hey, and for the blokes as well. We're living in that time.
Come on, 2021.
Yeah, exactly. So you had these provisions put there to enable people to learn a trade, to then go out into the big bad world, as it were, seek an apprenticeship, to therefore move on to get a full-time job. That was where it first started.
Okay.
Over the years, that plan diminished after about 10 or 12 years. And then the building was still there, hence the lease. So therefore now something has to carry on going on in there. Then came Easy Times and Flashika upstairs doing what he was doing. The building then continued to get utilised.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Anything else, or haven't I answered
No, it was.
that totally?
No, yeah, it was. It was like me be having my fucking...
You having a funny
brain.
5 minutes, mate?
I am, mate. Always having a funny 5 minutes. I was going off from where we were talking. Well, I'm going back to where we left off from the sound system because it diverted from Roscoe saying about
number
London
3.
Road.
Oh, right, okay.
So yeah. Yeah.
So
go
where
on,
did it
Roscoe.
start for me? I think
Yeah,
that's
that was
what you
it.
had
That
to-
was it.
right.
Where did it start for you? Yeah.
So yeah, it involved Ranks again. Ranks, he was a good friend of mine. He was in an active sound system at the time. The sound system was called Federal. There was a few sound systems. The one that Ranks used to marshal was Federal Sound System. But being a good MC, he could chat on many sounds because he was actually that good. A lot of people won't tell you that, but I will, because I was an MC too.
Yeah.
Real recognises real.
Yeah.
That man had a vibe. You know, you can't buy vibes
I mean, I've heard him up fucking
at the studio.
Lounge, you mean?
Yeah, mate. He's got a vibe that you cannot buy, and he's had it since mid-70s.
Yeah.
You know, there's guys now who I see joining the sound system game, and with the art of technology, they've got what they've got, and sometimes I look and I think, if Ranks had that.
Yeah.
Because, mate, his voice is blessed for a
Yeah.
microphone. Blessed. Anyway, so Federal was playing in a party in Snow Hill. The party where it was a girl called 16, very good friend of mine. We used to, obviously I was 14 years of age, we used to jump from the top window when mum and dad was asleep, crawl out, go to the local blues. On this day, there was scaffolding around my house. It made getting out easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made it getting out easy. So obviously said to the sister, I'm going to that blues party. Make sure you don't get caught. No, I won't. Make sure you don't grass me up. Went to the blues party. As soon as I went in, I think I've told this story somewhere on my Facebook. As soon as I went in, you know, I kind of thought, just walk in sheepish, because everybody in there knew my parents. Walk in sheepish, it's dimly lit, find yourself a corner, and stay there for the next few hours. As I walked in, Ranks is on the mic. The first thing he says is, yo, big up Markie Brown, big up Markie Brown in the house. So I just thought, shit, I'm going to get beat tomorrow, man. Everyone's going to know I was here. So then, for me, that was another poignant moment, because the guy that gave me the CD, the tape of the music that I was interested in, was now in a party playing the music and holding the mic. And he bigged me up at the same time. As a 14-year-old, you
Yeah.
can imagine how I felt.
Yeah.
Gassed.
I then watched him for the next 2 hours and what he done and the way he done it. It was fly. That's the only thing. As a 14-year-old trying to find myself,
Yeah.
I saw this guy doing what he was doing, and he's brilliant. Still is. And the thing is, he's brilliant on the mic, but he plays music too. And I think eventually people will hear him on the mic again. But for now, he's just coming back playing music, and I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. So yeah, that's where it started for me. And then I wanted to then be an MC. Yeah.
So did you then join the Federal Sound System?
One second.
Nah, I didn't join any system. Now, I don't know how this might look on the video screen.
I was thinking the
Don't
same
know how, but keep your head up though, yeah? Keep your head up, dude. Can I? Yeah.
Just a little
All right, man. Yeah.
Just need to,
Yeah.
It was tapping a bit.
maybe in future, if you know that you have to make these amendments when filming people, maybe get a delightful person in to do the head bending.
What's it you say? Costa's not delightful.
Yeah, what are you trying to say?
I don't want to say anything about this dude while he's here. You right, Costa?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Yeah,
It's just
man, that's
fucking.
cool, man. Wicked name, by the way. Costa.
That's not
It's
even
not
my
his
full
real
name.
name.
No, I was joking. Costa, every time I think of you, I just think of like a cup.
A coffee.
Yeah, just a cup.
Coffee.
Yeah, winning cup. Costa, you finished, dude?
Better?
I think so. It's just been
Yeah.
a bit tappy.
Yeah, man, make sure you don't come back, dude. So, no, what it was, again, being 10 years younger than a lot of them, or average age, I should say, was probably 6 or 7 years younger than the majority of them that were doing it, I never seeked to get into the sounds because that was theirs. I think they enjoyed the fact that I was a younger guy wanting to DJ, and most probably I brought a bit of energy. And I was happy just being allowed to come into the dance free, hold the mic free. By the way, just for the record, I never ever got paid. There was a part of me that never even thought about asking because I just had a love for it.
Yeah.
But you guys that never paid me, how do you sleep?
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. So, but really, I didn't really get in it for money. I got in it for the love of it.
Yeah.
So then, getting into it, you wanted to know more. Back in those days, we had what was called a cassette freak. The recording equipment back then, like I said before, were cassettes, TDKs, Memorex.
Yeah,
So a cassette freak was somebody that would be avidly collecting sound system tapes from Jamaica
Yeah.
and distributing them amongst their friends.
Okay.
I was a young cassette freak,
Right.
along with a few Rastas from Bristol and a Rasta from Bath. There was loads of us that used to collect tapes. Do you remember old Trump games when you lot were younger? Got, need. Yeah, we were like that with our cassettes.
Yeah, man.
Do you feel that the internet's like, because it's like the same with like what people used to do with like sneakers, trainers and shit as well, isn't
CDs.
it?
We
And
were
see
like
like
that with CDs.
we have mixtapes. It's like I feel the internet's ruined it because it's just like, well, I can just download that whenever, and there's no sort of like fucking exclusivity to it. Do you know what I mean? No. Do you miss that? Do you think it was better than not being able to get them, or do you think it's better now that anyone can have it?
Do you know what? Time has moved on so much that the whole cassette freak, it's not there anymore. People don't avidly collect them anymore because they're so easily accessible.
Yeah.
So the vibe was, all right, for us, what we used to do, I used to go to London. Back then, it wasn't just about music. It was about the clothes you wore. It was about the way you spoke.
It's still the same now.
It's still
man.
the same. It's still the same.
man.
But it's like back then, when you go into a party, best have your new click suit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you got your suit and thing and everything's nice and you're crisp and you're in the party. If you know there's a party coming up, you have to make a trip somewhere. I always used to go to London. There was a lot of people from Bath who were from London, or I had family members living in London. They would say, yeah, man, you know, back in those days, it was just market clothes. But market clothes in London pissed on high street clothes in Bath.
Yeah.
It just pissed on it.
I remember I used to go out to Shepherd's Bush Market.
Yes.
I used to get the mixtapes from there, for the grime mixtapes, and then there was like, and the clothes.
There you go.
Yeah, trip up.
You
boom.
come back, you're the man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're the man.
Yeah.
You know? So I used to step off of the train. I always used to kind of go up, and I'm not showing off. I used to just try and save £250, £300 every 2 months, or somehow manage to get that kind of income. You know, and then go to London and just blow it all on clothes in markets and stuff. Come back with bags full. Used to go clubbing. Used to go to the blueses. I could guarantee you that majority of the clothes I wore, nobody knew. Nobody had, because I got them from London.
Yeah.
When we also used to go to London, the cassette freak at that time was so big. Now, cassette freaks out there, you'll remember Bionics. Bionics was a guy, I think he originated from Jamaica, then lived in London. And what he done, he sorted out a method of getting in loads of... First of all, before I say that, Jamaica is where the majority of these dancehall tapes were coming from.
Yeah.
Let's just understand Jamaica, first of all. Jamaica is 150 miles that way and 70 miles that way.
That's
Yeah.
longitude and latitude for anyone listening on Spotify and not watching the video.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah, okay. Well, that's done me, hasn't it? But anyway, yeah. Now, they have 14 parishes, I think. An alternative for parish in this country, we would call them counties. So there's 14 parishes in Jamaica. It was rumoured that at one time, there could have been up to 16 active sound systems to one parish
Right. That's a lot.
in Jamaica.
And how many parishes again?
14.
Yeah, so that's a lot. I'm not
14
doing
times 16?
maths.
Okay. Let's just say then for the viewers, average 10 per parish, 140 sound systems in Jamaica. Brackets, but there were more.
Yeah.
Now, you had someone like Bionic, he would get the big sounds. Who are the big sounds? Kilimanjaro, Stone Love, King Jammies, Metro Media, Super D, Super this, Super that. Any name you can think of, there was a name. This guy used to get these tapes of dances, so they were 45 minutes each side. So you'll get 90 minutes of the central part of the party on this cassette. It would come to England. Back in those days, you would buy, I think it was 5 cassette tapes, so therefore 5 90 minutes of individual different parties for a tenner.
Right.
Cassette freak business was big back in the 90s, late 80s, 90s. We used to go up there, get loads, come back, get a tape machine, spend the whole night re-recording, going out the next day, selling them for £2, selling them for £1 each.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, how... Actually, carry on. I'll come back to it. It's all right.
So that's how we used to distribute it. So there'd be 4 or 5 guys known in Bath that anytime you wanted a new Kilimanjaro, a new Stone Love, you go to them. You'd get it off them, and then they would circulate. People in Bristol, people in Birmingham, people in Manchester. Somehow,
Turn the tap off, man.
somehow these tapes would still circulate. A man maybe going to Bristol from London, so he's driven through Bath and he's just dropped off a load of tapes and said to somebody, right, I'll be back in 3 days when he's going back to London. So you've got these case of tapes that it's your job now to re-record them, to give him back his originals before he goes back to London, for you to then start distributing them everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, that was what it was. So for me as an MC, getting a new tape as quick as possible to hear the vibe. You don't steal lyrics, but you're stealing the vibe.
Yeah. Inspired.
And you're getting inspired.
Yeah.
So me and people like Ranks and a couple dreads from Bristol, JJ, Simeon, you know, we would all swap the tapes, get them as soon as possible. Everybody's favourite sound around here was Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
Selected by Ricky Trooper, owned by a guy called Mr. Harper. I think they came from a place called Red Hills Road in Jamaica somewhere. Never been there personally. Been to Jamaica, but just not there. You learn so much from these tapes, especially as an offspring of Jamaican people.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't just the music you were
teaching you about your culture, innit?
Yeah, it
man.
was teaching you a lot. I always say there's parables. And I'll go on to the best parable guy in the game, who was Supercat,
Yeah.
in a bit. But there was parables, and in the Caribbean, they say, from nonsense you will get sense. So sometimes, sometimes you'll listen to somebody and somebody's talking and you're thinking, rah, what a ras this man talking about.
Yeah.
But when you really check it out and you sit back and think, he was talking sense.
Yeah.
It was just that your head and your mindset wasn't ready for the way he was telling you.
Yeah.
Well, they do even like them fucking like Buddhist gurus and shit like that.
Yeah.
They drop these like little things and you're like, what the fuck you on about, mate? You know what I mean? It's like, but no, there's a lot of fucking
There's a
sense in
lot
that
in it.
sentence.
There's a
what
lot
they
in
just
it.
said.
Same as what
yeah.
John was talking about with the onion.
Yeah,
And
with
the
the onion,
layers.
yeah. So John, who was on, he said about like, he explained it as someone once said to him that you are like this onion, and as life goes on, you peel back the layers until you get to the true you in the middle. And he said when the person told him years ago, he's like, yeah, fuck off, mate. And he said it wasn't until like now, he's like, well, actually, no, it makes a
he's
fucking
right.
lot of sense.
True, man.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, when you're cooking in that, you take off the shitty shell off the onion.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm right in the middle of that.
So my question was, you said earlier that rain is mad, isn't it?
Hey, I got no problem with rain. Enter! sorry, I had to get that in. Sorry.
Yeah, you said earlier that that you weren't paid for MCing and stuff like that. It's like how were blueses monetized?
Okay. Well, there was door tax.
Right. Okay.
So obviously everybody coming in would pay something.
So so for people that don't know what a blues is,
Yeah.
explain what it is. Because I know what it is because of my dad, but
All right.
yeah.
Okay. Let me put it this way. Back in the early days when a lot of the people came over from the Caribbean, they had a way of partying that wasn't necessarily below the glitter ball of the dance floor in a nice swanky club, because money just wasn't there. The way they partied was just by gathering anywhere. That's why sometimes when you look at the way it is today, Jamaicans, Barbadians, Antiguans, the whole Caribbean, because they didn't have what we had,
Yeah.
they made it from nothing. That's why most probably their parties were more authentic than any somebody could give us loads of money and say, right, go and put this party on in Dubai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most probably we'd have all these plush things.
Yeah.
But then someone will say, you know what? Go downtown Kingston and put on something.
Yeah.
If you had the right venue
And the right people.
that
That
vibe in Kingston
Yeah.
Would be it.
would be better than the vibe
Do
in
you know,
Dubai.
the conversation we just had
Literally,
with John
all
literally an hour
just
ago,
links
it's the same,
links
obviously
up.
different worlds, the same thing,
Yeah.
and he's saying the same thing of what he was saying, and he's an indie pop artist, and he
Yeah.
said he's worked on ships as a professional musician, so he said he's getting paid for music, fucking miserable, and he's now more happier working a job and doing his music on the side.
Yeah.
He says, and there's nothing wrong with that. He said the vibe, and to come round to it again, saying about you could be in fucking the best thing in the world, but if the right people ain't there and the vibe's not there, it don't matter. You
That's
just
it.
throw all your money
That's
in it.
it.
Go on, it's done.
Yeah.
Do you mean it's
That's it.
fucking shit?
Oh,
Yeah.
that'll bring me on to something else in it anyway. But yeah. So that was it with me. That was a cassette freak. That was what got me into it as an MC. The monetizing it. Yeah, we'd pay at the door. Now, obviously,
You didn't explain what a blues was.
right, a blues is a late night party. Now, back in the day,
Where were they held?
they were held in houses, halls, garages. They were just held anywhere where there was space.
Yeah.
And somebody could bring in a sound system. There'd be a little area in the corner for drinks because refreshments must be sold. If that could carry on, everybody was up for it. Everybody would chip in and help doing what it would take in the day to make this party go on in the evening.
So it was a community like
Community. Those
thing.
things are driven by the community.
Amazing.
You know, that is what made everything so great. You know, and most probably the whole destruction of that theme was where they killed it from the root in the community. But I can talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was what 80s, 90s. You said
80s, 90s, yeah.
it's the good
More 80s.
Do
more
you
80s.
do you feel because the 90s? I know, like I was still at school in the 90s, so like I didn't really get to witness it, but like the whole like acid rave type thing going on as well. Again, which is like. Because I know everyone talks about the 60s, but in the 90s you also had that going on. So like again, people gathering in
Right.
fields and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
It's weird. Now, I now play house.
Yeah.
But the house that I could have listened to back in the 80s or 90s, and with no disrespect to any classic house listener, I couldn't listen to that house.
No.
You know, I just couldn't do it because there was something about it that it wasn't spiritual. It was just a beat.
Yeah.
Druggy.
You said that, dude, not me. But I just couldn't listen to it. As opposed to the house I listen to now, it's uplifting, it's spiritual, it's soulful. Do you know what I mean? So there's a difference in house.
But with more so with the gathering of the people in places that aren't mainstream.
What do you mean? Sorry, break that
So
down.
like the raves that they'd have were always like
Yeah.
illegal raves, like it's
Always.
this movement. So is that I'm more so from the audience perspective of people going to a blues. It's a gathering of people in wherever, and it's the same with the raves of the.
At the end of the day as well, let's not beat around the bush. A lot of blues there was a lot of people that smoked. Now, going back in the 80s, if you smoked outside of the community that smokes, it's
Yeah.
he smokes weed.
Yeah.
It could lead on to, everyone's always thinking
Yeah,
the worst
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
No one ever says, oh, he's smoking.
Where's Costa? The pizza's there.
No one ever says, oh, he's smoking weed. Hey, at least it's just weed he's smoking and nothing higher. They always say, oh no, if you smoke weed, it'll lead on to something else.
Yeah.
Back in those days, that's the way it was. In a lot of the blues parties, people would smoke weed. But it was responsible smoking. No one wasn't getting, choked with it. Go on, have this, have that. People would go there, listen to some nice reggae music, have a spliff, have a drink, and just chill out. It's the world that has made it so what it is.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a release. No one ever speaks about the man that has 10 pints of beer every day.
Yeah, and then beats up
He's
his wife and
right,
beats up
okay.
everyone on the
You
way
said
home.
that.
And
You said that, right? But no one goes on about that. But
Nah.
weed does not make you get up and say, "I'm gonna rob the bank."
No.
It's
Have
not.
you ever heard the street song? The one where he plays the piss head and the guy smokes weed.
Tune.
No.
Oh mate, I'll send it to you after.
Send it to me later.
See, basically in the tune, he plays the two characters, and he's arguing with himself, but as two
counteracting
people.
it.
Yeah.
And the guy who smokes weed, he's like, "No, I just like to go home, play on my PlayStation," and he's like, "Oh fucking kick, you're ready, you can." And he's like the drunk guy.
Yeah, you would like that.
The song is great, but it just goes to show
Yeah.
But that's the way it
difference.
was.
reality.
And I think, as well, in time, and the way the goalposts of life have been changed, hence there's no much more speaking of these underground blueses or anything like that.
Yeah.
And, which hurts even more, there's no more underground blueses, and it hasn't come up to mainstream.
Yeah.
So where is it?
Well-
Because this is what hurts the most about reggae music. If reggae's so good, Bob Marley and all that,
Yeah.
why has it only been Bob Marley to come out of Jamaica and do something? Now, if you're going to stop me there and say, well, there's coffee, then why did it take 30 years from Bob Marley to bring somebody else on the reggae stage?
Yeah.
Now, I've got nothing against coffee, but my choice would have been a dreadlock singer called Luciano, who, when you hear his music, it's uplifting, it's pleasurable to listen to.
Yeah.
If you were trying to find an icon for Jamaica, Rastafarian, why didn't they choose Luciano? And there's nothing against coffee, but it's like coffee's waving the flag.
Yeah.
I don't feel coffee has what it takes to wave this large reggae flag that goes around the world. And that's no disrespect to her, but your back's got to be broad to carry this reggae thing.
Yeah.
And I just think Luciano was the man that should have done it.
Because I know I spoke to you in the past before about it, and it's about the.
Can I tuck into this?
Yeah, you
do
crack
your
on.
thing, yeah.
In the past, about the artists that are copycats of the other artists, the originals.
Or the artists that got mimicked.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I've always said this. Now, first of all, my disclaimer. These are my views.
Yeah.
It's not a general consensus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamaican MCs speak a lot of parables. Again, that sounds like nonsense, but check it out. It's real sense. You've got people like Supercat. Rhymes when he talks. Everything, even when he's having a conversation with you, he will rhyme. But the rhyme is just out of this world, because when you check out what he said, it's just brilliant. Now, Supercat's voice, it's just my feeling, Supercat's voice was iconic. There was another guy in the game that had a voice like him, and that guy was called Junior Cat, because that was his brother. Yeah, but that voice was unique. I feel the elites of the world wanted reggae music. They wanted that voice. But they didn't want Jamaicans, did they?
It's I think it's like that in a lot of music of black origin. I think it's very much like that in hip hop as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Eminem.
all right, well, Okay. Don't you think it's strange that everybody that has a voice, something happens to them?
Yeah, of course.
All right, you guys are hip hop guys. Tupac and Biggie.
Yeah.
Right. Now, hey, I was around in that time. But you know who Tupac's mum was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Black Panther.
Right.
Shakur.
So, if you're somebody that doesn't like that,
Yeah.
you're thinking, what will his mum and him be like in 15 years?
Especially after the stuff
Fuck
he was
me,
doing.
hell no.
Yeah.
Someone said hell no. So they needed him to stop. I believe, and I don't go too deep, but this whole West Coast, East Coast stuff, manufactured.
Sherrod.
Yeah.
It was manufactured so it could look like my own feelings. It was manufactured so it looks like somebody that looks like Tupac killed him. Maybe somebody that looked like Tupac killed him.
But was it them who wanted it initially?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, when I look at the way the hip hop world is right now, and I think my man there, Wiley's paid the price by talking too much. And believe you me, I'm not going to pay that price, so I'm not going to say that. But, you know, there's certain things about the hip hop game now that we all know that has come apparent. There's certain crews that are running it. All right. You guys are hip hop guys, so let me now interview you for 3 minutes.
Go on.
Who were those rappers back in the day that could talk about black people upliftment?
In what, like?
In rap?
KRS-One.
Yeah? Name me some more.
Mostaf.
Public Enemy.
All right, stop. So, if they are the pioneers for a race, and the race loves them, and that race is massive, why aren't they up there? Why aren't they still up there?
When Public Enemy were Glastonbury, they wouldn't even let Flavor in the country.
Really?
Why? Because,
No convictions. When I seen him at Glastonbury,
Wow.
Flavor's not there.
yeah,
That's insane.
yeah, that's convictions. Yeah, because that's the word that they put out. But what they don't want teachers, dude.
Yeah, of course.
The world does not
They want
teachers.
mindless
Right.
gangster rap. The perfect gangster rap.
Yeah.
Now, going down conspiracy mode. But I actually think there's a lot of truth in it. So apparently there was this meeting with record execs in America in I don't know, the 90s, early 90s.
Yeah.
And they held this meeting and certain people were invited and certain people have like walked out and they've come shine light on it. And they basically said that this meeting was about buying shares in a private prison service in America. Right?
Yeah.
And they want to create and spread more gang violence. And the way you spread and create more gang violence is push more gangster rap.
In the narratives, man.
Do you know what I mean? In this, yeah. And that doesn't surprise me at all.
So, right, let's take it one step further. This is the power of money. Yeah. So, with all these questions, we may say to ourselves, but hey, how come some of these guys ain't standing up and saying, we don't want to say the N-word no more. We don't want to talk about the ghetto-style living, the gunshots, the this and that. Why is it still being promoted in hip-hop when they know there are people like KRS-One, Public Enemy, or people of that ilk,
Yeah.
who can come and teach people? Why aren't they using them to do
It's
it?
not cool.
It's not cool.
It's not cool,
And
mate.
also,
And the other thing is as well, Joe Budden was talking about this the other day. Actually, do you know what? I'm not even going down. I'm not even going down that
Joe
route,
Budden's
man.
tough, man.
What?
So he was basically saying, like, the whole narrative of this like negative push, it's cool. No, I'm not even going there, bruv. It's a bit deep, man. It's
Go
it's
for it,
a
man.
bit deep, bruv. It's a bit too deep for now.
I mean, Alice Pizza's made me feel alright.
Yeah, it's all right. I don't want to drink any more wine either.
I will.
Nah.
So where are we?
We're still on the
Copycats, mimics.
Mimics, right, okay. So Supercat. So who do you think Supercat is right now?
Sean Paul.
Yeah. Sean Paul.
Yeah.
And no one don't, and I've been saying this for
And Sean
years.
Paul's like from a middle class.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
Now, what it was, Supercat, there was June Supercat done, you know. Mud up. You know, I can't. Somehow I will send you the link to some of his stuff and somehow you can put that up. Supercat, he had this style. He was like an Indian DJ. Yeah? So he would speak about Apaches and things like that. Do you know what I mean? It was weird, iconic and weird. Now, the elites of this world wanted reggae. So they must have looked into the reggae in the 80s and they said, what the hell's going on? And I'll talk about Shabba Ranks in a minute. Now,
Shabba.
so they must have looked into reggae music and thought, well, who's doing it? They knew Supercat was doing it. Supercat got a lot of following. Supercat was so trendy that his brother named himself Junior Cat and he was going around MCing too. That's how good Supercat was. Now I believe, disclaimer, just me, the elites looked and thought, we need that voice. But we don't want a Jamaican. Because a Jamaican will fuck up everything. No, I don't mean it like that. I don't mean Jamaicans will fuck up everything. What I mean is, that will fuck up the elite's plan. Because if you put a Jamaican top of the world, and if you don't control him, you'll have a little white guy going in from school after hearing a Supercat track saying, what, mummy? We are cook. Do you know what I mean? Seriously. So they couldn't afford to have somebody from another country being top of the world in this genre. So they needed to find somebody. You just said it. Sean Paul. Come from a middle class family.
And Shaggy.
Right, Shaggy. Who was he?
Shabba.
Yeah.
Right, now, let me tell you about Shabba. And you can go on YouTube. The Word. Jamaicans have a belief. It's, all right, we're in 2021. But, look, I don't want to go down the roots of the startings of the island of Jamaica. But I think if you've done your history, you know what the island of Jamaica was.
Yeah.
So without going too deep, people have to do their own research. You can understand their stand. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. What I'm saying is based on the history of the island, you can understand some of their stance on life.
Of course.
Shabba Ranks was running the world. And when I say he was running the world, his first tune was about Nigga Lie Pum Pum. Yes, he was on about... Yeah, he was on about...
Big tune.
Right, okay. It made it big. The Nigga Lie Pum Pum, the Nigga Lie Pum Pum.
Hey.
Nice, huh? Right. It made it big around the world. Everywhere where there were Jamaican offsprings.
Which is everywhere.
Canada, you know, England, America, Sweden, all over Europe. Everybody tuned into this guy. This guy was the new reggae. This was the new man.
Yeah.
The elites had to stop him. Because he was a Jamaican teacher. Let me tell you about Jamaican artists. Ninja Man, Vibes Cartel, Shabba Ranks. When they talk, people listen to them more than they listen to the politicians.
Yeah, of course.
Hence, Ninja Man's in jail. Hence, Vibes Cartel's in jail. Hence, Shabba lives in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah? They got Jamaica locked down right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and until they're on top of it, Vibes Cartel won't be free. I said it.
Yeah.
Because they know if Vibes Cartel comes out and he's in a Kilimanjaro dance and he says, fuck the masks.
That's it.
That's it.
Gone.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well,
That's it. And Jamaica knows that. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
So anyway, Shabba Ranks, they had to stop him.
Didn't they get him on the
Right, hold on.
the whole like hate
yeah,
speech? And
right.
Yeah.
So they knew what a Jamaican feels about certain subjects.
Yeah.
So one day he was invited to come on to an English Friday night musical chat show called The Word. Mark Lamore, I think the guy's name was. And the girl was... She used to go out with Ryan Giggs. forgot it. But anyway, they had Shabba Ranks on there. Now, Mark Lamore happened to be gay.
Is this the one with the quiff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him.
So the subject of homosexuality come up. Everybody who was a cassette freak knew when watching that on that Friday night, when that subject came up, we knew Shabba Ranks' career was over.
Fucking hell, man.
Because, hold on, and I'm not going to glorify anything. Remember what I said. For the way some Jamaicans' views are about certain things, you can't blame them for what their island has been through. I'm not saying it's right.
No.
I'm not saying it's wrong. But I can understand why there is hatred towards an area, a scenario,
Yeah.
because of what the country has been through.
Yeah.
Please, people, do your research to know exactly what I'm on about. So they knew, bringing up this subject, they knew his answer would be unsavory to the watching world.
Yeah.
Because for a long time, everybody's been seeking equilibrium, and all these movements going on right now. They've been preparing for this for the last 20 years. All these different types of movements, they have been. So they've been nurturing people for the last 20 years to think a certain way and banish a certain thought. So when Shabba comes with, his own belief, it went in every paper.
Yeah.
It went on every music billboard. They said, they got him. This is how we can kill the voice of reggae. And they killed him. They killed him.
Yeah.
And that was the end of Shabba. So, they still liked his voice. So they found a guy called Shaggy. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
Because that was the closest voice. You had certain voices in reggae music which told you the tale. Back in the early days, you had DJs like Brigadier Jerry, Josie Wales. Those kind of DJs would chat culture. They would chat about black people upliftment and how you must better yourselves.
Yeah.
Then you had people like Ninja Man. Ninja Man is what you would call a vibes man. He'd be on the mic, he'd make you laugh, make you smile, and most probably was one of the sharpest MCs to just talk off the cuff and make lyrics off the cuff based on what he saw. Then you had Shabba Ranks, who would talk about the girls. You would have Lieutenant Stitchy and Papa San, who were story makers. They would tell stories through their joke, comical stories. So everybody had their way, but Shabba was a loud-mouthed vibes man. They wanted one of them, the elites. They wanted one, but they didn't want him to be a Jamaican. Or if he is a Jamaican, they want to nurture him. Enter the fray, Sean Paul.
Yeah.
And Shaggy. Those were the mimics of the good guys that they couldn't control and couldn't trust in front of the world's media. Because again, with their popularity, where would they have gone? They would have gone straight to the front of the billboard for reggae being up front. Therefore, they're on chat shows, they're on Trevor Noah, they're on,
industry
Parkinson,
trade,
they're on whatever, industry stuff. They're doing that circuit. But they couldn't trust what would come out of their mouth. So they thought, no, you know what we do? We love their style, we love their voice, we're going to create our own.
Yeah.
Sean Paul.
Mad.
Shaggy.
Disclaimer. This is Markie's opinion.
Disclaimer. After watching it, please erase.
No, but I actually think it's in more than that in all industry. I mean, you can take like, because I actually think the grime scene has a lot of similarities to the sound system culture,
Right. Yeah.
In the way like it was born,
is.
and now obviously it's gone
Right.
very poppy. Now,
See, I said about Tupac and Biggie. Right? It's because there was two of them. And they just thought, fuck me now! Fucking one's bad enough, now we got two. They eventually got rid of them. But that was the same scenario with Wiley and Stormzy.
Or Wiley and Lethal.
Right, so they've got to get rid of one.
And they did.
And they did.
Well,
And it's history repeats it.
but he ain't given up.
Yeah, Wiley's fucking making waves on the fucking.
He's doing
No,
loads,
but
man.
no, don't get me wrong. They're not going to stop him from doing that because he's making what I would call underground money.
Yeah.
And they're letting
Yeah.
him do that.
Yeah,
what
yeah,
they're
yeah.
saying is,
You can't have this platform.
bitch,
Yeah.
you can make underground money. We got Stormzy because
Yeah.
we feel we control him.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
my
they-
view. Disclaimer.
They do.
They do. I know they
They
do.
do. Like, let's be real.
I know they
And
do.
it's like I was thinking we were having a conversation the other day about the reason why he's not on social media. It's like, is he not on social media because he doesn't want to be
not
that,
allowed.
or is he not allowed?
He's not allowed.
He's not allowed to speak out.
He's not allowed.
You know? He's allowed to wear like a Union Jack.
Yeah, he's not
bulletproof vest,
allowed.
but-
If you I listened to the podcast of Russell Brand and Glenn Greenwald the other day, the guy who basically broke the Edward Snowden case, and he was talking about like at the moment the way that the fucking NSA and MI5 and that how they plan certain things and plot certain things to bring into like, and it was really interesting. He's talking like on Mascal's and like the whole thing of like the division of what they're building, and a lot of movements play into their hands. Then they want these movements to happen because it's like they're battling people off against each other. You do not want people to unite. You do not
Yeah.
want people to come together.
Yeah.
You want those people over there, and you want those people over there, and you want there to be friction.
For instance, if there's a Black Lives Matter thing going on, the first thing they're going to fool you with is sending out a black dude to do something against Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
You know, there's a load of people out there against Black Lives Matter, but they will pick a black guy.
Like
go against.
Candace Owens.
Yeah. And if you watch CNN, there's one guy that always comes up, black guy, glasses, always comes up, right sellout against Black Lives Matter. But this is the whole thing. The whole thing is, it's confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you remember, right? There's so much stuff I could say, but
Do you remember how you asked not to speak about politics?
Yeah. All right, okay. Let me go somewhere else. Let me go somewhere
I
else.
like
yeah?
it. The whole thing's pretty.
Let me go somewhere else because no one ain't giving me the answer on this, right?
Come on.
I hope I don't offend no one, right? I don't follow faith. Yeah, when I say I don't follow faith, I don't avidly follow faith.
Yeah.
But I have respect for people that follow faith.
Yeah.
But what's with the lies, dude? Jesus in the Middle East. Dude's a white guy. No, come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
Dude should be looking like me.
Yeah.
But
Or
the
at least
dude is
me.
still on the walls.
Yeah.
White Jesus.
What
The dude's still hey,
Blue eyes.
Listen, dude, when I was 10, yeah? They fooled me, man. I used to watch a show on TV called Tarzan. Johnny Wismiller. Some white dude flying from tree to tree.
In the jungle.
Talking to alligators and his little monkey, Nakima. And I used to sit every Saturday morning going, yeah, go on, Tarzan. Then as I grew up, it was like, wait, hold on. Hold on a minute. This geezer, he's going from tree to tree in Africa. And Jimsy looks like you, bruv.
Shouldn't he be fucking sunburned?
Do you know what I mean? And even if he can't catch a tan, he should be red all over.
Yeah.
So, you know, the world lied to me from 10, man. I've been fighting this battle since I was 10.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But what does it tell you? It just tells you that
It's control, isn't it?
Control and
but
confusion.
there's a lot of shit in the world that we've been taught. And over time, we're just resigned to believing it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like, don't get me wrong. My comment there about Johnny Wismiller, tree to tree, and the white dude, it's not a racist talk, but it's like, start telling people the truth.
Yeah.
Because when Black Lives Matter was going on, there was a lot of white guys who were saying, yeah, but Markie, don't you think they're going on a bit? Well, don't you think the picture of Jesus has been up for fucking a long time? do you know what I mean? Come on. It was like I got into arguments with guys. They still don't understand why Black Lives Matter. It's never ever said another race doesn't matter. It's just basically saying, take that Jesus off of the wall, dude. That's why it matters.
Don't lie. 10 minutes.
What, 10 minutes left? Have I been rolling on? But do you know what I mean
yeah,
about
yeah,
that? I'm not getting weird. I'm not
Nah.
getting weird, but it's just like, somebody's got the nerve to say to me, Markie, don't you think Black Lives Matter's going on? And I want to look at them like say, dude, take the Jesus picture off the wall.
Yeah.
And until you do that, then tell me Black Lives don't matter.
Yeah.
But these are continual things.
And the Hollywood whitewashing and all this
Right.
other stuff. That
You
we
know,
can talk
R.
about,
Kelly.
like-
I'm not defending him. But
No,
hey,
if that
so-
was white girls, mate, that would be game over years ago.
Well, it would have been game over years ago. But the thing
Years
is,
ago.
he made so much money, and the rumour is, he wanted to buy back his, what do you lot call it, stems? His
yeah, it's a
Oh,
master.
it's masters.
His masters,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, Bill Cosby. You know, back in the old days, it was something everybody done. He wanted to buy NSBC. They now pull this up the carpet. So my thing is, what does Noel Clarke want to buy? Anyway, let's move on.
Who's Noel Clarke?
He's the one from
Do your own research, dude. I'm the interviewee. I'm the interviewee, dude. You're the interviewer.
Noel Clarke is the guy that did Kidulthood.
Oh,
And the one
Disclaimer.
Yeah,
I am now out of this conversation.
Yeah. Anyway, that
Yeah.
we're not. We
So
won't
it's
carry on
like,
from there.
don't get me wrong. I'm not saying
This has been
that
a
people are being exempt from what they're doing wrong.
But they are.
But-
some people are.
But why is it, if they are doing these things wrong, why are they being allowed to make millions and trillions amount of money, and then you find them out? Sounds like a common roller coaster that goes on. We're going to use the bitch out of you until we don't need you no more. Then we're going to frame you for things that we know that you've done. With the whole R. Kelly thing, I think he had a big warning when the first case came. He should have known when he walked from that, not guilty, he should have known that they're going to be filming him and following him for everything. So if he has then subsequently gone on to do more things, I'm sorry, Robert. Or is it just a framing thing? Nobody knows. But all I do know is there's a lot of people getting framed after they've made millions.
yeah.
But
Either
whilst
way,
making millions...
Either way is in the right place. No. Do you know what I mean?
no comment.
Well, he is, as
Well,
far
I
as
don't
I'm
know where he
concerned.
is, mate. Could be down the block.
That's true. All right. Well, if he's in jail, he's in
He
the
could
right
be
place.
face down with some... all right, okay.
That's what I'd like to say.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah. Should we do one must go?
Well, no, we've got 10 minutes. Well, we could do it now.
Yeah, we
Go on
could do
then.
it now.
Do one must go.
We could get into it.
One of these must go.
Right, one must go. You've got to choose, basically, one to never exist. Goes away. All right,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to start with a difficult one for you. Reggae or Soulful House? I'd like to. We could go into this one a bit more deeply.
Damn right I could.
So we could go and explain why.
All right, quickly then. Only based on what I'm doing right now, as a personal thing, I would get rid of reggae. I can hear everyone killing me. Yo, Markie, yeah, who do you, boy? Yeah, sell out me, boy. No, but it's only based on what I'm doing now, so I will pick Soulful House. And also, if reggae was as loving as what it was in the 80s and 90s, which it is not now, I would most probably have swayed for reggae, but it's not.
Yeah.
The whole thing about reggae was great because it was a fraternity. There was a group of you doing it. These days, you don't. Actually, at this time, there's one little sound in Bristol coming up right now called Red Fire. And everything that they're doing it in a way that should have been done back in the 80s. There's a few of them. They're a good collective. They all go out. They all market the sound and distribute stuff about the sound on social medias. It's a real collective push. So, yeah, go and check them out. Red Fire from Bristol. Yeah,
Cool, man.
Nice sound system.
Red wine or lager?
Lager's got to go, dude.
Yeah.
Lager's got to go.
Every time. All right, here we go. Here's another difficult one. Football or music? There's only one clear winner for me. Obviously.
Right, okay. Today was the last set of fixtures on the Premiership. So football's technically gone for the next 3 months. So, and based on what I'm doing now, music's got to stay.
Yeah.
Man, there's going to be guys out there phoning me up after they
Who even are you, man?
Who are you, mate? Who are you?
All right. Spicy, not mild. All right. Spicy jerk chicken or fish and chips?
You know I'm going to go fish and chips. You know I'm going to go fish and chips. I just cannot do anything spicy. I'm so sorry.
So jerk chicken's gone.
It's gone, man. It's like, I don't go when I eat.
So wait. Reggae's gone. Lager's gone. Football's gone, and jerk chicken's gone.
What kind of dude are you? Yeah, it is. Oh no. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't do spicy food. It gets into the pores of my tongue, and it's horrible. Sorry, too much info. Any more?
Yeah, talking about too much info. Foot fetishes or bondage?
What I would like? What I'd like them to be? How does that one go? It's been a while, lads. It's been a while.
You have to get rid of one. So you can either get rid of foot fetishes or you can get rid of bondage.
No, man, I'll get rid of foot fetishes.
Yeah?
Yeah, but everybody likes to be tied up, man.
Yeah, come on.
I can't move.
Oh, that was the end of One Must Go.
Was that it?
Yeah, that was a good
Yeah,
one.
it was
Is that the end of the interview?
Nah.
We just decided to do that one now. 4 minutes.
4 minutes left. That 6 minutes went quick as well.
Because I did want to go into then.
You could always bring me back, guys.
Yeah,
This
we
could be
will.
part one.
Yeah, because I wanted to talk more about the transition to Soulful House then.
Yeah, and then after that, we could do foot fetishes or bondage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should get
Speak for
fucking
yourself, lads.
someone on. Who's into that?
But Ellie.
Who's Ellie?
She's Ellie.
Ellie from work.
Yeah.
She was on
Bang into
episode
all
2.
that stuff.
Was she episode 2?
Yeah.
I haven't watched any of your stuff yet, I must admit.
That's all right.
Because I wanted to come here and just have a nice conversation with you lot without seeing anybody else's conversations.
No,
But I
that was a good conversation,
I
man.
will catch up with them.
That was a good one.
Yeah, John said the same as I. He said he didn't watch it before he come on.
To be honest, I didn't really know what to expect. Because I kind of generally know the two of you anyway. And I know how clownish you two can be. So I didn't really know how far you were going to take the...
Are they
clownish.
fucking setting me up or what?
That's exactly what I thought. I left ranks and he said, "Where you going?" I said, "I'm going to see Jitsi." He goes, "Oh, you go careful with them, mine. Go careful with them, mine." Oh, yeah, I will. But yeah, it looks like I might get out of here unscathed, so that's good.
Yeah, no, it was just a genuine interest in your history and the local sort of history as well of the sound.
It is interesting.
Yeah, like because we didn't even get into like Walcott Nation Day or anything.
Yeah,
do you know what I
none
mean?
of
And
I did hear something about Walcott Nation Day that I don't know if it's the truth, but just to go in line with every other lie the world tells, I was told that many, many years ago, there was a bylaw
Right.
that was signed. This bylaw stated that if an event in Bath took place at the same time every year for 10 years, it would be allowed to be there for eternity.
Okay.
They stopped it after the 9th year.
Wow.
That's the thing. Not many people know. I was told that. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't know if it's the truth, but I know Bath is full up of bylaws.
Yeah.
And the bylaws are that crazy.
Yeah.
That if you have an event here for 10 years, that means you can have it for the rest of eternity.
Yeah.
But if you only have it for 9, that's it. You're buggered. You're not getting no more.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, because let me just tell you something. Walcott Nation Day was for Bath. It was money day.
Yeah.
We all know how big Walcott Street is.
So good, man.
Every shop and premises on there benefited in some way, form or fashion. Whether it meant you could have a stall outside your place, therefore you're taking a price from those that want the stall, or you're making money from things that are subsequently sold from the stall, or you're getting paid. I think there was sort of like a little sort of Walcott Nation Day payment that people had on Walcott Street, just so that their area could be used, or for the benefit of the disruption for the day, if you see what I mean. But it would start from 9 o'clock, people are setting up.
Yeah.
That would go right round till, 10 o'clock at night, people are just starting to go home. The consumption of beer from the Bell Pub, there was one down the bottom, there was the Hat and Feather back in the day at the top. So people had places where they could go for a little bit of a respite. So after being on the feet on Walcott Street, say, I'm going to go into the Hat for half hour and rest my feet or something. Then they're back out there. It was a big money day for Bath. I don't know why they stopped it. They must have stopped it because...
Well,
yeah, I do.
you look at
I know. I always know.
You
Not
look at,
allowed to say, am I?
you look at St. Paul's Carnival as well, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's another thing. I'm just not allowed to say, am I? Jesus.
Right.
More questions for us?
Yeah, we got the final,
Yeah.
which is what is
Just
your...
not allowed to say anything these days.
You're allowed to say this, though.
Yeah,
Go on, go for
they're
it.
on a positive one to finish off.
Yeah, that's what you say.
What is your personal meaning of life?
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be positive.
No, it don't have to be positive. You can fucking... But usually, isn't it?
Yeah, hopefully.
Unless you're fucking Joseph Fritzl or someone like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't have him as a neighbour. No, the meaning of life. I think if you would asked me this when I was a teenager, it definitely wouldn't have sounded this way. The meaning of life is to get through life. By saying that, how do you get through life? You've got to basically do what everybody does. You can't cut corners. You've got to make yourself adaptable to life. Don't expect life to be adaptable to you. There's too many people I know out there who, you know, they take things for granted. I don't. Even if I'm promoting a party, I promote the party like I'm promoting it to a dummy. So that they know every aspect of what I'm promoting. Because clarity is key. Clarity is key. It's, you know, it's like we're now about to embark on this new world. There's rules out there. Seating arrangements for when you're going into public places. Trust me, I'm coming from a life where people don't book for a table. You just turn up and say, yo, I'm blood.
Yeah, those times.
I'm now
are gone.
showing a lot of my friends that, yo, that ain't the way no more. I've got a party next week. I've had some people phone me last night. Yo, Markie, what, blood? Yeah, we'll come next week. We'll come next. I said, yo, you booked a table. Sure, yo, but I'll do it through you. I'm doing it. I said, no, it don't work like that. It's the new world. Start forgetting that. And it's not me that made the rules.
Yeah.
It's not me that made the rules. But if
Or
you
me.
want... But this is why they've done the world like this. Because they know there's a large percentage of people that most probably won't take a vaccine, will try to be a devil to every rule and procedure that's out there. They know 40% of the world is made up of rebels. They know 40% of the world won't do what they're told to do. You have to conform. I see a lot of people saying this, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, yeah? The world's going to squeeze you out.
Yeah.
You know, vaccine, you know?
When they start saying you can't work here anymore
Well,
because you fucking have
yeah.
a vaccine.
You know, somebody
see it coming at my place.
Somebody from your family is in the
I
hospital.
see it coming at my place.
And you need to go and see them. But you can't go and see them because you had the vaccine, dude.
Yeah.
Because of your bad man belief.
Yeah.
Well, now your bad man belief is up against your family care.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's the bad man now?
It's like, it is, where do you draw the line? Isn't
Where do you draw the line? They've got everybody by the ghoulies.
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you want the vaccine or not, eventually you are going to be, what's the word?
Ostracized.
Ostracized, minimalized. You're going to be, you know, the rooms will close in on you.
Yeah.
That way. And it's closing. It's starting to close now for people.
Yeah, it is massive.
You know, the lockdowns they knew would start closing down people. Just the lockdowns. They knew mental health would go through the roof. All these things. It's like they knew. I'm not allowed to talk about it, am I?
Ladies and gents, I say we wrap that. We're
gotta wrap.
we're 10 minutes over already.
All right, this episode is called "We're Not Allowed to Talk About That."
Never! Because they'll find me, you know.
They'll be cancelled.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming on.
That was the Marques, aka Markie B.
Boom, bang, bang. Boom, bang, bang.